Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way, if you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous. Did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments. Get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
All bangers for my members, y'all. Let's get it, y'all. All bangers for my members. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's finish the story off, y'all. We are now on chapter 25. Crazy, man. But I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Y'all been seeing like the things that been going on, man, through my journey of being in deep metals. I just been trying to adapt, man. I'm young. I'm only 19 years old, man. I'm really trying to adapt to this whole situation, man. I'm only 19 years old. So it's like being young like that, man, like you gotta kind of make the best of everything. Like everything is gonna be new to you, man. Everything you're gonna experience is gonna be new to you. You just gotta kind of be a fast learner, man. Like I don't mean to give people, you know, a freaking a tutor class of how you do time in penitentiary from the beginning to the end, but like, you know, like in the beginning, like I'm really learning how to do time. Like I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. So many things are going on, man. I'm just a young dude just trying to make it in there, and that's all I'm trying to do, man. So prior to the last story, y'all already know it was a dude. He came in there. He tried to scare me about Sussex too, man. But like, you know, come to find out, they had identical prisons on both sides, and he was talking about the other prison, man. He wasn't talking about the prison I was going to, man. So it was a major mix-up in the whole thing. But just know that it was an identical prison. It looked like the same prison I'm going to be going to, man. It still had me a little shook. I wasn't like voicing it to people, and I wasn't showing it to dude that was acting crazy that was in the block. But I promise y'all, man, I was a little terrified slightly. Man. So I continue on to kind of do my bid in there. I just became more serious in there. Like, you know, the last thing I wanted to do was fight or just lash out on somebody. I want to do none of those things. But getting out the hole, man, you know what I mean? Like doing any time in the hole is not a good thing. Even though Deep Metals is not a camp that I told you, they're not prepared for the hole. They're not prepared to keep locking dudes up. So going to the hole back there wasn't hard. It wasn't something that like it destroyed me or something like that. But still though, like I just didn't like being somewhere isolated like that. So like now that I'm back in the block, man, the same block they put there, the same block that I was in, I feel a little better about myself, man. But at the same time though, man, it's like I gotta kind of figure out a way, man, to hurry up and get transferred, man. Like I'm really tired of being at Deep Metals, man. Like I didn't know what awaits me in the other camp, like besides the stuff I heard and all that. But at the same time, I just was ready to leave. Like I was feeling like my time wasn't moving. But like your time still goes while you're at Deep Metals, while you're at receiving or whatever the case, your time still moves. But for some reason, I was feeling like my time wasn't moving, man. So it used to be this one dude that used to come out on the weight pile. He used to work out with us, man. And he was like a mixed dude. I forgot where he was from, but he was like mixed. He was probably in his 30s or something like that. But he used to always be on the weight pile talking about how he used to go see, how he be seeing the psychiatrist. Now, when you go see the psychiatrist like that, I seen it on different levels of all different prisons when it comes to the psychiatrist. Like, you know, the psychiatrist is there to talk to people about problems you're having. If you're stressed out about a lot of stuff, that's why the psychiatrist is there. For a lot of different reasons, they'll talk to you. But this dude just kept telling me like, yo, like he was talking to the psychiatrist and basically like he just go there just to be having conversation with her. Basically, like he was like, ain't nothing wrong with him, ain't nothing that he really gotta go see her about. He just like talking to her on the strength that it's just a woman, you know what I mean? So like I used to always hear him say that, but I tried to figure out like where do I fit in that if I want to go talk to the psychiatrist, because I felt like there was a lot of things that I wanted to talk about with the psychiatrist though, man. Like as I keep hearing him talk about it, because I'm like, man, like, you know, watching the movie, seeing what a psychiatrist's job was and like how they there to listen to your problems or whatever the case and help you work through your problems. I felt like that's what I needed. And my problem was that I was this young about to go do a major bid. So like, it wasn't about me being scared, y'all. Like everybody gonna act like they tough. Everybody gonna act like it ain't nothing, man, when I gotta go do a major number in the penitentiary. I mean, once you win there, you win there. So you gonna have to go do your situation at the end of the day. But like me, I just felt like still though, man, like it was just something that was just bothering me about going to this next spot, even though I wanted to go to the next spot. But it's like, I just felt like I wanted to talk to this lady, man. So it was like a mixture of me really just going to talk to her about trying to get through this situation as far as like being nervous about the next situation, and really just going to see if I can talk to a lady, man. I really was doing this out of boredom and trying to fix my problem all in one motion. But I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I pull up on dude and I asked him kind of like, yo, what's the procedure on hollering at the, you know what I mean, the psychiatrist, what they had to do. He told me I gotta go get a request from him. He told me I gotta fill the request from him out, blah, 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 blah. He said they'll get back with me. Come to find out, when I filled out the request form, man, the psychiatrist get right back with me. Get right back with me. I'm talking about right back. I get the joint back in the mail. When they do mail call the next day, I read that she signed it and read it, and she made a day for us to meet, which was the next day of the day I got the mail. So I'm like, man, that was fast. So, you know, I didn't want to tell everybody about how fast you can get on the psychiatrist list, but maybe it was something the way I wrote it up. But I wrote it up like, yo, listen, I'm having problems with, you know, being a little bit scared of going to the next compound. I've been hearing things about this next spot. Like, I'm just nervous about it. And it's you know, I'm having crazy thoughts. Like, I kind of laid it on a lot. I kind of laid it on extra, man. I put a little extra mustard on a hot dog, rather, man. But I don't know if that was the reason that made her want to call me that fast. So like I say, I ain't tell nobody. I just kept it on the low, and I just waited for my time to see the psychiatrist, y'all. So boom. So I go see the psychiatrist now. When you go see the psychiatrist, they had all type of different, like, they had like a couple of offices to the right. Then they had like the smoke cage and the barber shop. Like, the way the building was set up within the building, you're not going nowhere to see the psychiatrist, but the office was kind of like right there. I don't know if her and the counselor, when she would use the counselor office, they would rotate. I don't know, but that's why I went to go see. I thought dude used to go out the building to go see her, but he used to go see her in the building. So when it was my time to go, and she called me out, walked to the psychiatrist's office, man. And when I got over there, like, for real, I thought it was gonna be the same office where I go see the counselor at when I got my annual review done and all that stuff, but it wasn't. It was like a different office right beside that. So I go in there, before I opened the door, I look and I seen the black lady. Like, I was like, man, this is a black lady. Like, you know, I've been in jail now almost 2.5 years, going on 3 years now. I think I'm going on 3 years around this time, man. So like, I haven't been around women like that in a minute, like on some contact, unless you see a CO pull up on you or something like that. That's a different, but like, I'm finna go sit in front of this lady. So I walk in the door, boom, open the door up. She was like, hey, Mr. White. I was like, hey, how you doing? She told me her name. We're gonna call her Miss Todd. But she introduced herself as Miss Todd or whatever the case. And she was like, yeah, have a seat. So I sat down, you know what I mean? We just started chopping it up a little bit. She started telling me a little bit about herself. And she started telling me a little bit about the request form that I wrote to her. And she started asking me random questions, man. She started asking me questions like, she started asking me random questions like, Mr. White, do you think, like, do you have suicidal thoughts? Do you feel like you need to be watched if you have to go to the next spotlight? And I'm looking at her like, man, I didn't write that for that type of situation. Like, you know, yeah, I'm jeffing, I'm baiting right now, but like, still, like, I didn't. Like, she was like, nah, these are questions that I have to ask you. It's a part of what we're doing. So I have to ask you these questions just to make sure. So you saying you're not suicidal or nothing, right? I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, nah, nothing like that. I just, you know, she was like, oh, you positive? She was like, yeah. So she kept going in about different more stuff. So she was like, all right, just explain to me kind of like, what's your problem as far as how you feeling about going to the next spot? And I don't know where this came from, but it was like, I just started like this talking, and I was like, listen, it ain't really about me being scared. I was being honest, but I was still willing to on the low, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, it's not about me being scared, man. I was like, it's just about me being so young, going to the spot. She was like, yeah, I talked to a couple of young dudes before. Like, you know, you're one of the youngest that I talked to, and you know, it's going to the next level of the prisons. When you leave here, it's going to be a whole new ball game. And I was like, yeah, and that's why I feel nervous. That's why I feel like I needed someone to talk to. You know what I mean? So I just started talking to her about the whole thing. And she sat there and heard me out. Man. And she listened to me. Like, she was just cool with it, man. Like, she was just one of those people that like a great listener, man. It was like y'all ever had, like, back in the day, middle school, elementary, you ever had a cool teacher? Because I'm not going to say high school, but like, you ever had a cool teacher back in the day? And they be the ones that just like, you know what I mean? They always know how to talk to you, whatever. That's how she was. Like, I got a real comfortable, like vibe from her. Like, she was just like a cool person. And, you know, she was helping me with a lot of things that I was really wondering about, man. She was basically like, listen, like, doing time in prison, for what I heard, like, I think she was going outside of what she usually do to give me this advice. She was like, when people gotta go do time into those real prisons and stuff like that, she was like, you just gotta mind your business. She was like, you're not someone that I look like that's gonna be in other people's business. You don't look like a troublemaker from what I can see now. So she was like, you just have to go in there and just mind your business, man. Keep your mind on what your release date is. So she said, right now your release date is 2017, right? And I was like, man, like hearing, just imagine that, man. I used to hate when they bring that reality back and let me know how much time I got, man. Like, it's 2002 for God's sakes, man. And the lady's telling me my release date is 2017. I'm like, yeah. And I was like, I started telling her a little bit more. I told her about the, not really the incident with me and dude rumbling or whatever the case, but I told her like how dude was trying to talk about how they got rifles and all that stuff and they got dogs that attack you. She was like, listen, you never know what to expect about this whole thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like she was giving me game on the whole situation as far as feeling comfortable about going to the next spot. We sat in there and talked. I looked at the clock. We was 30 minutes in already on the joint. So when it got to an hour in, we was still talking. And now she's basically asking me questions about my family. She's asking me where I'm from. She's asking me like where, she got all my information. So she knows where I was born at. So she's like, yeah, so I see that you wasn't born in Virginia. So I was like, nah, I wasn't born in Virginia. I came out here in 92. So she was like, oh, okay. So she was like, how'd you like moving? It's like, so she opening up, another can of worms on like what her job is though, but she's a psychiatrist. So she was like, how did you like moving? How was the transition of you moving? And to be honest with y'all, she really helped me kind of like figure out, not really figure out, but like I started understanding, because I never looked at it. When you're young, you don't look at stuff like this. And like the question she asked made sense. She was like, well, how did you feel about moving to Virginia when you left South Carolina? I was like, man, to be honest with you, I didn't want to come here. I never want to come to Virginia. I was like, I never wanted to come to Virginia. And she was like, why? And I broke down to her. I was like, my parents had ended up splitting up. And I was like, I think my mom was really trying to save me and my brother from, the dangers of South Carolina. But like, we moved into the dangers of Virginia. Like, and by me, like still having the maniac in my system, like from South Carolina, like I was one of those young, curious, bad young kids. So like me coming to Virginia, even though she tried to save us, I was like, it really didn't work for me because I still was like curious of the streets and stuff like that. So she was like, yeah, that's usually how it is. She was like, because I looked at your last address when you was living there in South Carolina, and she was like, yeah, because living in South Carolina, like I know that could be rough if you was in a rough area of poverty and all this. She was like, moving to another place to help. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it don't, because you can't really take the, the reality of when you just left out yourself when you moved to somewhere better. And I was like, yeah, I was like, to be honest with you, like I felt like I'm not mad at Mom Duke. She didn't fail. You know what I mean? I was like, because she definitely tried this. You know what I mean? She got us out of a bad situation and moved us to a better situation. You know what I mean? But I continued on to be a psycho. So she was like, I understand. She like, that happens naturally. You gotta be able to. So like me and her just in there kicking it. We in there kicking it. You hear me? I look at the clock. We an hour and a half in. I'm like, yo. So she was like, y'all gonna be getting ready to go to dinner soon. So she was like, I had another appointment, but he canceled. She was like, I had another appointment. They said he got transferred. He was on the other side of the building. So she was like that's why I sat in here and talked to you for a while. So she was like, so what are your plans when you get to the other spot? Do you plan to get your GED? Do you plan on staying out of trouble? Do you plan on being someone that's gonna be working? What are your plans when you get to prison? So I didn't really know how to answer that question. I'm like, what are my plans? Like, you asking me what are my plans? Like I'm about to go on vacation or something, y'all. So boom. That wasn't the case, man. But I didn't say that to her like that, but I just really didn't know the answer to that question. What are my plans? I don't know what my plans are, man. My plans is to survive. Like, you know what I mean? And I told her, I didn't say that. I was like, my plans is just stay out of everybody's way. I'm just trying to do my time and just get out. That's all I'm trying to do. She was like, well, that's a good plan. She was like, that's a good plan. But she was like, in the meantime, you want to take advantage of your doing time. You want to go in and get your GED out the way. She said they have college courses coming up soon. So you'll be able to take college courses. She said you want to get you a job. She said you want to do all the things so you can get your good time and you can keep your good time. She said, I know your counselor explained to you about your good time. And I'm like, yeah. So she broke all that down. And I just was so understanding. It was just so understanding. It was comfortable. It was comfortable hearing how this lady talked to me, man. So like, once it was time to finally leave, like it was wild. I get up. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to leave. I fix my jumper. I'm like, yeah. I was like, see you later, Miss Todd. She was like, nice to meet you, Mr. White. And she came to shake my hand. And like, I had to catch myself because I looked at this lady's hand and like, she was a nice looking lady for her age. I'm not even gonna lie. Miss Todd probably was like early 40s around this time, early 40s. She had the little curly hair that she kept in a little ponytail. She was skinny, slim, short lady. She was a nice looking lady. You know what I mean? When she stuck her arm out to shake my hand, I looked at it for a second because no officer, nobody that have been around, I haven't shook nobody's hand since the prison. I haven't even shook my lawyer hand when he was representing me because we was behind glass. Like, I haven't shook nobody's hand, man. I promise you, man. When this lady stuck her arm out to shake my hand, I looked at it. She was like, It's okay, White. It's okay. I was like, and like she shook my hand kind of like she grabbed it like, it wasn't like a, like, you know what I mean? She was like, and I felt like her soft fingertips. I was like, she was like, all right, you can let my hand go now, White. I was like, oh. I was like, all right, Miss Ty, I'll see you later. So I get down. I promise you, man, as I'm walking back to the dorm and I get like to almost my bed, like I'm in lust like crazy. Like I can't get her out my mind. I promise you, man, I cannot get her out my mind. And like this wasn't the plan. Yeah, I'm whittling down there, just trying to talk to a woman, just trying to really get answers on things that hopefully I can get from her, and she was giving me the answers. But after leaving our first meeting, I was in lust, y'all. So boom, I go to dinner. We come back from dinner. As soon as we come back from dinner, it's almost time where we can lay down on the bed. So I just start chilling. I'm laying in the bed and I'm reading a book, but I can't stop thinking about her. I can still smell her. I can still smell her body spray. It didn't smell like the perfume she had. It was like a body spray. You know that spray when you just get out the tub or shower or soap, like it smelled like that. So I can still smell her. And I'm just like, this joke crazy. I keep thinking about Miss Todd, man. So the joke just kept going on and on. I just kept thinking about her for a minute. I'm thinking about her. Can't stop thinking about this lady. Promise you, man, like this joke crazy. So I waited till late night. It was late night, man. And like for real, I never really got money in there like that. When I say get money, y'all already know what I'm talking about, man. I was in there being the number one thunner. The number one, y'all already know what I'm talking about, man. Like you gotta get your man off sometime, pause. But like in the open dorm, it's almost impossible, man. But I had to do this, man. Miss Todd had me in so much less, man. I was like, man, I gotta get some money. I gotta get some money, man. No book game. I ain't had no book. I ain't had time to ask for nobody no book. I just woke up and I was trying to catch everybody's stuff. Woke up, I looked at the clock. That joke said 3:05. I was like, looked around. I was like, I jumped. I was like, I got out of my bed quiet. I was like, my flip flops on quiet. I made my way to the bathroom. I was like this. I went and joined up. The lady in the booth seen me. I was like, I went in that joint. I went to the toilet. I was like, man, I laced it. Man, I some toilet paper. I sat down on that jank. You hear me? I sat down on that joint. Pause. And I got my man. I got some money. I had to. The whole time I was getting money, I was thinking about Miss Todd. I didn't need a book. I didn't need anything. I had Miss Todd on my mind, y'all. So boom. It was crazy. You know what I did? The next morning, as soon as the morning came, I got up super early. I wrote another request for him to see her. Told her I was having problems sleeping. Thinking about what we just talked about. I need another meeting. Word, she sent a junk back again. I get to see her again. The junk came back again. She sent a junk. You know what I mean? I go back to her. She should tell me what happened. I explained to her. You know what I mean? She's looking better. She's smelling better. I'm like, man, now I see why the old head always want to come see this lady. Because this lady is the truth. This lady cool, man. She help you. And she smell good. Look, I'm like, man, this is wild. So I kick it with her. And she was like, White, you know what? She said, I don't think you have a problem, White. And she looked at me. She was like, I don't think you really do have a problem, White. I was like, huh? Why you say that? She was like, because, like, you know, I've been in this profession long enough where I can tell people that really have problems. She said, now don't get me wrong. Being young, going to prison is not a good thing. And, you know, we can talk about that or whatever. But I don't think, you don't look like a person that's really scared of me, White. So I want you to tell me right now, what are you doing in here? I want you to tell me right now, White, what is it really that you want from me? I was like, I didn't know what to say. I'm looking at her like, I was stuck for like at least 10 seconds. I was like, my face was like that too. I was like, what I want from you? Because I'm like, this lady is good. She done guessed the whole play. I'm like, what do you mean what I want from you? She was like, tell me what you want from me, White. Right now. I was like, I just want to hurry up and get transferred. I choked. Like I supposed to be like, you know what, man, I want you, man. I'm like, you sexy, but I'm like, there's no way this is gonna work after 2 times I've seen this lady, man. So I choked, paused, and I said, man, I'm just trying to get transferred. Miss Todd. Like, I'm just trying to hurry up and get out of here. So she was like, is this what all this is about? You want to hurry up and get transferred? She said, I will get you on the bus if that's what you really want. Do you want to get on the bus now, or you want to continue coming to see me and me helping you? And like that question, that was another question. I was like, I want to do both. She was like, she grabbed a little notepad, she started writing. She was like, White, it's very rare that I play games with people, but I'm gonna get you out of here soon. But Please don't waste my time no more, White. So I was like, yes, ma'am. I got up. She was like, White. I was like, yes. She was like, listen, you're a good kid. Don't let nobody tell you nothing. You're a good kid. I got faith in you, and I think that you're gonna do good when you go to your other spot. Just don't let nobody get you in nothing. Don't get influenced by things. I got good hope for you. I think you're gonna be a good kid. I was saying in my head, I was like, all right. I walked out. As I walked out and the door closed, I was like, shh, shh. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna always be a maniac, y'all. So boom. That's the truth, man. Like the maniac is when you got a maniac in your system, it's hard to leave you, man. When you in prison, especially, man, because just like that, it'll come out by you getting ticked off about something. So like, I felt what she was saying. I just was mad that she caught on to me just going there and messing with her. You know what I mean? But it was like I was lusting off this lady so crazy, man. Like, felt like it was a good thing, man. So I left Miss Todd alone for a second, man. And for real, man, I had went and hollered at a nigga, and that was my fault. Like, I ain't supposed to do this shit, but like, I'm talking to a nigga, but like, my mama used to always tell me this, like, and she'll still say this to this day, because she be telling about pops, and she be like, why y'all, we be in the house talking, she be like, why y'all so loud? Quit talking so loud. Quit talking like you and your daddy talk so loud. And I didn't really know I did, till sometimes I'll catch myself doing it, but I'm outside talking to my man. I'm talking to my man that's in the other Brown building from Norfolk. I'm talking to him. And I'm basically letting him know, like, yo, because he's telling me that they got a counselor over there that he's down on. So when he tell me that, I'm like, yo, bro, I'm down on a psychiatrist. He was like, for real? I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm like, bro, listen, she cool. She let you talk to her, bro. Like, bro, I'm telling you, bro, like, she dumb cool. You just look at her. I was like, man, you can sit there and kick it with her long. He was like, yeah. So I'm talking about it. So it's another old head dude. The dude that told me about her got transferred. So it was only me for real that I knew that was going like that. But it was another dude that was on the fence talking to his niggas. So he overheard the shit, you know what I mean? So I'm leaving. After it was time for the Brown building went back in their building. So we were still stuck on the yard until it was time for us to go. So we walking back to the door. As I walk back into the door, I see this tall old head dude. He was like, hey, youngin. I was like, yo, he was like, hey, you went to go see Miss Todd? I've been hearing about her, man. He was like, man, she good money too, ain't she? I was like, man, I mean, you know, like for real, I was looking at him like, yeah, she cool, bro. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, yeah, I mean, I overheard you saying. You know, he was like, bro, that's how all the psychiatrists is. He was like, when you go to your spread, he said, how much time you got? I was like, I looked at him like, I don't even know you, man. He was like, man, I mean, look, I'm just asking. I was like, man, I got 18 years. He was like, all right, so you going to a level 4 better. He was like, when you go down, he said that nice and easy like it was nothing. All right, you going to a level 4 better. He was like, well, look, when you get there, bro, they got psychiatrists in there, bro, and dudes be in that joke gunning them down. I was like, dudes be gunning the psychiatrist? He's like, yeah, dudes be gunning the psychiatrist down. He said, but it's a way you do it. It's a way you do it. It's a way you do it. I said, so what you mean it's a way you do it? He said, man, you gotta go in there and you gotta know how to do it without her seeing it. I was like, how you gonna do it without her seeing it? Man, this lady's looking right at me, man. He was like, listen, tell you, man. He said, you go in there, you wear a big jumpsuit. He said, you act like it's cold. You put one arm in your jumpsuit and you go to work, youngin. I said, man, when she gonna see your pants moving? He was like, nah, you gotta sit up in the chair. So I'm like, so this dude a wild gunner? I'm like, so you the #1 gunner? I ain't say that though. I was like, so you be slanging? He was like, yeah, that's what I do. I can't wait to leave here. Dumbass open dome. You can't do shit in this motherfucker. He was like, well, I'm going to see that psychiatrist. Fuck that shit. I'll go to the hole for that shit. I'm like, that shit crazy, man. I was like, man, for real, man. I told myself right then and there, I was like, man, if dude successfully get away with being the #1 thunner to Miss Todd, I told myself, I said, man, I'm next, y'all. So boom. I wasn't even known it like that yet. I wasn't no gunner. I wasn't nobody that was into that game. I kind of despised that game from the jail. Like, I didn't even know it really exists like that until he started really telling me, and I started seeing things that was in Deep Meadows people was doing. But at the same time, though, I'm like, man, like, for real? Like, Miss Todd might bring it out me, you know what I mean? And bro, come back and say, because I like, bro, those questions she was asking me, like, tell me what you really want, like, tell me what you really want, like, why are you here? Like, all of that, like, that joint made me feel like she basically like, be honest. Why you in here? You in here just to look at me and lust. And I wanted to tell her that, but I couldn't. So, like, I put bro on, and I don't even know why I did. You know what I mean? I should just mind my business, y'all. After I rewind the tape, I should just mind my business, man. But I ducked her for a week now. When I didn't go see her to talk to her, I would see her leaving. Sometimes we'll be on the yard. Sometimes we'll be in the pod, and you will see her coming out the joint from the pod and going out the major gate and leaving out our building. Or sometimes you'll be on the yard. You'll see her leaving from out our building, walking past the gate. And I always just be right there looking at her. She'll walk by and be like, have a good day, White. I'll be like, oh, you too, have a good day. And she'll leave. She don't even know I'm massively less than she probably knew. But for real, I just fell back, man. I fell back for a second. But dude, he did the same thing I did, filled out the request form. You know what I mean? He got an answer back. He told me, he was like, yeah, look, I got an answer back. I was like, man, you not finna go in there. He was like, I am, forget that. So he went in, so he was like, yeah, I am. So I'm like, this junk crazy. So I was like I say though, I want to see how this junk will play out. So bro went in the jank, man. When he got called the next day, he went in the jank. He was in that junk probably for like 20 minutes. I'll say like 20 minutes into the junk. Bro went to go see the psychiatrist. So when he went to go see the psychiatrist, man, they called us for outside rec. So I go outside. So it was a sunny day. We all in the yard, everybody chilling. So I'm not working out this day. I'm just kicking it, walking laps of my other home where I be talking to. That's on the other side of the building. You know what I mean? You know, it's two sides. We both go out together. I'm walking laps talking to him. So we ended up posting up kind of like where we could see our basketball courts at from the other side of the building where the fence is at. We could see the full court basketball court that was in front of our building. So we posted up right there. We could see everything coming in front of the building. So as we standing out there, we see like 3 black COs just running to our building. So they run into our building, my word. They run into the building. So they run to the jank. Promise you, goddamn. I was like, oh shit. Goddamn, niggas running to the joint. I'm like, oh, niggas in there fighting. But I'm like, yo, it got to be the niggas that cleaning up. Because the only people that would stay in the building is the people sometimes that, you know, that be mopping and buffing and all that shit. So I'm like, yo, I get niggas running. So they run to the shit. Oh, they run to the joint. So everybody on the fence like, yo, every niggas coming from the way by. Who fighting? I'm like, yo, we don't know. You know what I mean? We're trying to see now. They went in our building. So we can't see. Dudes at the back door trying to look through to see if it's in our pod. Ain't nothing going on in the pod. So everybody don't know what the fuck going on. So we standing out there. Man, as we standing out there, man, you just see dude, man, come by, man. Dude come by, man. That man had to walk a damn shame. I promise you, man. He had to walk a damn shame. He had one side of his jumpsuit on, the other side was hanging, and then his pants looked like they fucking roughed him up a little bit, like they roughed him up back by his pants. And he had to handcuff someone. He was walking. He was like, he walked by the fence. I was like, looking down, I'm like, oh. I'm like, yo, that plan didn't work. I was like, oh, it's crazy. I said, Miss Todd called the people on him. So they took him out. So we all still stuck on the yard. We like, yo, everybody on the yard, like, yo, this junk, wow, man, this junk crazy. So you see the white shirt dude, he come over there and he started talking to the COs that was in our building that was handling the situation. So we all still in the yard. Next thing you know, you see Miss Todd come out with her bags, her little suitcase joint that she used to be carrying. She come out, like the day over with, like she was traumatized behind this shit. She walked out down, she started walking, she stopped by the white shirt nigga. And he talked to her, he put his arm on her shoulder, like, you know what I mean? Like basically like comforting her, like, yo, I guess he was saying you gonna be all right. So he talking to her. So goddamn, she was getting ready to walk past me. She was like, gave him the bad advice, White. I was like, everybody was looking at me like, I was like, what? Excuse me? She was like, you gave him bad advice. She just kept it moving. I was like, oh shit. I said, this white motherfucker went and told. He went and told Miss Todd. I know he ain't do that shit. Man. I was like, this is impossible. This shit impossible, man. I was like, damn. So we all go back in the building. Everybody that was in there was like, yo, dude was in that junk being the #1 thunner. And she called the police on him immediately. You hear me? Immediately. So he was out of there. Man. But like, I still couldn't, like, why did Miss Todd say this? Word, I write a request form. She was like, yo, I write a request form to Miss Todd. Told her straight up, I wrote a request from Miss Todd. Just made up some stuff. I'm having nightmares. I need to see you. I'm scared. The bus is scaring me. Just thought about anything. Wrote it up there. Hope it work. I get to jump back. I get to see her. So I was thinking that she wasn't gonna see me. So I go in and jump, man. As soon as I go in and jump, I walked in. I was about to sit down. She was like, nope, don't sit down. I was like, don't sit down? She was like, no, you're not staying. I was like, we got an appointment, right? She was like, yeah, I just accepted your appointment to tell you this. I was like, what? She said, you told that dude in here that I was gonna be freaking easy? He said, man, the little young boy told me that be coming to see you, saying that you watch. Why you gonna write me up? She said, I was writing him up while he was doing it. And I told him I was writing him up. Before the police came, I was telling them. And he told me the little young dude that be seeing me, the little chubby dude that be coming in here, he told me that you go. I was like, he told you what? She was like, he told me that you said I go. I was like, Miss Todd, he lying, Miss Todd. She was like, nah, don't worry about it. She said, I'm gonna grant your request. I'm gonna get you out of here. She said, you better hope and pray I don't send you to the mountains. I said, how you gonna send me to the mountains? I ain't doing that. She was like, I can do what I want. I was like, I said, Miss Todd, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got no drama with Miss Todd, man. She said, go back, get out. And don't you ever tell nobody about what we talked about ever again in here. Do you hear me? I was like, yes, ma'am. I dipped out, y'all, my word. I was like, yo, like, that whole incident, man, I felt stupid, yo. It's not a lot of times that I be feeling stupid from the things that I do for real. But like, that's like, you gotta be able to close your mouth. You gotta be able to shut up. You know what I mean? I was talking too loud. Dude overheard our stuff. And I still put him on, man. But like, I'm thinking this is nothing, man. But like, he went back and told Miss Todd though, man, which made it everything crazy, man. I'm sitting there looking at this like, this can't be real. You know what I mean? The egg was on my face. I felt like somebody smashed a pie on my damn face, to be honest with you, man. Like, I really felt so stupid going back to my bed. I went back to my bed and I sat down, man. I just thought to myself, man, like, yo, man, I hope Miss Todd don't railroad me or when I'm gonna get transferred, man. The camp I'm supposed to be going to, man. But get me the fuck off this compound, y'all.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.